kind of his overview. Uh, Seems like a decent amount. We'll see new character, stats. You can see his kit if you want to. I also looked at it yesterday. The only thing I want to see if this was ranged. It is ranged. After autoing 4 times, does he have to hit anybody? He does have to hit. Okay. Kind of wish this also like went away if you didn't auto anybody for like 10 seconds or something. I think that would be nice. But we'll see. 7-second cooldown. That'll go down to 6. Kind of aids. Using this ability costs health instead of mana. I don't think I remember seeing that. Also, it heals you. I'm curious if this heals you multiple times. Like if you hit 3 people, do you heal 3 times? I think they did say the stacks wore off. No, the stacks on his passive wears off. So when you get hit or whatever, or stand still, you lose your passive stacks. It just makes you slow immune and gives you movement speed. Also, this being plus 1% per level, this means you're getting fucking 30% movement speed or some shit like that late game for just free is actually kind of insane. What's up, BB? How you doing today, man? The heal is per target. That's OP. Yeah, no CC. This one has a slow. Obviously gets the dash, the jump, etc., etc. We have a long weekend, so you'll be gaming. Shit, long weekend? Is it a special occasion? Slow gemstone, explodes at max range, or indented early by reactivating. Gemstone explodes, as damage, it stuns for 0.5 seconds. Stun duration increases based on distance. Pretty straightforward. The ult is like the ball that pushes you. You charge it up, increases the range. 1 second's really not a long charge time, though. I feel like they should increase this. I feel like that might be a little OP. Should be like 2 seconds. I hate when they're like, charge it up for 1 second. Motherfucker. That's not a charge. That's just using the ability. Doesn't really do that much damage. Does push and stun, obviously. All enemies. I had somebody ask me if it does all enemies. It is all enemies that are hit. Oh, it does more damage based on distance. Gotcha. Stuns for a second. Make his window up to 200 damage. Can increase the heal. So you make his 3 do extra damage. Not sure how good that is. The ult, what's it called? Creates the heal. This was an overprime. That's for 5 seconds. Kind of insane. When you hit somebody with the dash, it's 120 magical power. Oh, shielding, extra shielding. It reduces the cooldown. I was gonna say, I thought he did this much, like he gained this much power. I was like, that's insane. And it can occur on non-heroes. Fighting imps 1 second charges a lifetime. True. Think about it like this: Bellica 1 takes like half a second to come out. At max distance. This is talking about how you could implement feedback. To what quality of life changes they have. Okay, let's see. Please let me ping the minimap. I swear to God, let me ping the minimap and fix the goddamn flashes. That's all I want, dude. They could do that, it would be the best patch yet. Are you ever gonna get a Bizarre game? I don't know if I'll ever load that game up again, honestly. That'd be like calling bailout wind up was a charge. True. Mean. That's just honesty. Alright, adjustment of tower hitboxes. This is a good change. Maybe my fucking random shit won't hit the tower randomly. Please stop letting stuff go through tower that doesn't go through walls, and stop letting people hit through their own tower, please. Terrible design. Show who killed Fangtooth and Orb. I can't wait to be like, Yinyo, you didn't even hit that smite, you little bot. I can't wait to see how many junglers are frauds in the making. Can't hit smites, getting saved by their teammates, dude. I can't wait. What's up, Siggy? How you doing? Also let you know who stole it, so you could be like, yeah, you didn't smite that, you dog shit jungler. I stole that shit. Little bot. Good change, honestly. Very small, but good change. Rank changes. Shoots for share requests. Why am I not in dark mode? Hold on. Did they remove dark mode? Or am I tripping? Where's my dark mode? Why did they remove it? So request changes to rank being implemented. There's a separate rank section. Hopefully that's a good sign. Play a hero in practice without needing to purchase them. Sure. I know a lot of people wanted that just to test them out in practice before purchasing them. Hello Pizza Planet, Masenko, K-Dot, Beatdown, hello Kale. Stole that shit? Stole what? Improve social screen. When you select a friend, you can see their level, rank, and VP. I'm going to be honest, I don't know who asked for this. But sure, I mean, more information's always good. Ultimate Hero Pack, huge W, finally. Took them 3 years to realize it's a good feature. Yippee! This is just you buy every hero immediately and always, right? Yeah. Yeah. Woo! Finally! You can buy every hero now and forever. Yippee! About time. Actual good change. This is, I don't know why this wasn't in the game from the start, honestly. They'll make more money on this than they'll ever make on selling heroes overall. It's still cold in America. It snowed yesterday for the first time, actually. And you get Ember refunded for anything that for any Ember you spent on heroes. That's a good change. Priority for us to address in future updates. Stability, daily, weekly challenges. I'm not going to read all these paragraphs because if they're not in the game, it don't matter. All right, I'm going to read it. PlayStation getting more updates than anything else. Will be in the game soon. Weekly and daily challenges. Won't be long before they introduce it. We'll see how long that actually is. Different crosshairs. Hopefully with the update, very much on our minds for the future. That means it's probably not going to be added to the game ever or for a very long time. Post-patch and replay build visibility. Suggestions that pertain to the end of match screen and replays. It's one of those popular. The ability to view player builds. Yeah, the fact that you can't see builds at the end of the game makes no sense. Like in the stat screen. Also means you can't see it in the match screen, like in your match history. Very silly. Especially if somebody's like popping off, that's how you get a good build. Jim, thank you for the 30-day watch streak, by the way. Jez, good thing for the 40-day watch streak. Hello, Ritter. Okay, patch seems very underwhelming. I mean, this is just like the quality of life stuff. There's obviously like balance and stuff too. And like bug fixes. We'll see. Maybe some of that stuff is in the bug fixes. Hero customization. Players could adjust keybinds, cosmetics, and builds. Just an excellent idea and something we'd love to work on in the future. Okay, so what? Why even put it in here, man? If it's in the future, why put it here? Limiting Paragon rank to 100 players. Increase the prestige of the highest rank. However, other rank system changes need to happen first before we can introduce this one. I mean, this is fine. This makes sense. Realistically, they need another rank, in my opinion, if they want to do this. At the minimum, if not 2 ranks. What's up, Kev? How are you doing today? I think Deadlock will be up there when it releases. I mean, they're supposed to go into like open beta this month at some point, right? Or BB? Something like that. I don't know. I mean, it's already fucking up there on some fucking... They're like 50k players per month. Make master rank. I mean, there should be master's rank, and there should be an emerald rank, in my opinion. Switching heroes in practice mode. I understand why they don't do this. It is like kind of a lot of technical work, I'm pretty sure. But at least you can use any hero now. You don't have to necessarily have them unlocked. It's kind of annoying that you have to log in and out, though. Or like go in and out of the practice mode. Fog in the jungle. Small visual effect. So bringing a little more function and being a spooky flourish. Was there Fog of War on the October patch? Seems like a huge patch. There really isn't much in it yet. we didn't even get into the patch. There's actually like pretty tower hitboxes. Show who killed Orb. That's about it. And the God Pack. That's pretty much it. There's not really anything else in there. This is all stuff for like different updates. No, that's not in the game. That's something that they're gonna do in the future potentially. That's okay. They're talking about the actual fog effect in the jungle, like fog. Yeah, it should be fog of war. If you're gonna add fog into the map, you might as well add fog of war. God pack biggest news IMO. No, that's like they will make more money off that than they will off selling characters at any point ever. It's not the patch that might include it. That's what I said. I said, why is this here if they're not adding it this patch? I guess it's because it's what they're looking at in the future, but also like I don't expect most of this to be anytime soon, except for like this says within the next couple weeks. That's about it. I don't think they know what Fog of War is. They definitely do. It's up to the Binary patch day. Patches on Tuesday. There's patch notes. Ranked matchmaking improvements. Major improvement to the matchmaking system that blends VP and our internal MMR much more effectively when creating matches. Oh, they're gonna make VP and MMR together. Oh, that's so bad. That's so bad. Oh, that's so bad. Do you owe me up? I think this is terrible. This will probably. I don't think this will improve matchmaking if you make your rank and your actual internal more equivalent. It might make people be like, I don't have a gold in my diamond game or something like that, maybe. But at the same time, if that guy is diamond MMR, he should be in that game. This is actually worse for matchmaking, I think. If I put it in this as a potential add-on without any sort of timeline, I agree, actually. Wait, what does that mean? What does what mean? Fog of War? Fog of War is basically like, instead of fog walls stopping you from seeing vision, Fog of War is basically like if somebody is a certain distance from you, you stop seeing them. Oh, VP is like your ranked elo, or like your ranked points, not your elo. So this is like your elo, like your internal elo, and then also what your current rank is. No, they're not RibBB. For example, you start in Bronze 3, but your internal MMR is Gold by default. That's why people be like, why is there a Bronze player in my Gold game? You don't care if it was after the holidays that patch is lacking? I mean, I haven't read the rest of it. Ranked mode's expanding. South America gets more ranked every day. Yo, 7 days a week, baby. Starting January 13th on weekdays. Why did they put every day if it's only... Bro, what? Every day. Weekdays. Which one is it, man? The hell? Weekend windows will remain unchanged. Is it available on weekends? Or is it currently available on weekends, but it's just also available weekdays? Is that what it is? That would make more sense. That would make more sense. I don't know. I don't play South America, so I actually don't know. I would assume this is like it's already available on weekends. This is just now available on weekdays. They worded this so like weirdly though. I don't know why they worded it like that. Could to play with the 7 people to play on this server? SA is available on weekends. Oh, okay. OC in Asia ranked. So on Saturdays you can play in Asia and OCE. If you want to play ranked over there, play ranked over there. Get your friends in. I don't know the time zones. Brother, you guys can't even get a quick match, Caramel. You don't like how they abbreviate South America? I also don't really like how they abbreviate South America, but that's okay. Ranked AFK VP mitigation. Popular request for ranked players. Which ranked players? Game didn't communicate clearly enough, and as we monitor the future, we found that overall the reduction often wasn't significant enough. Yeah, it was like, instead of losing 20, you lost 18. Notification on the ranked VP screen whenever VP loss has been mitigated due to AFK detection. We've also increased the amount of VP mitigates between 60 and 80% depending on match length. I don't like this at all. Okay, here's the thing with like changing it based on how long the game goes. It basically results in that if somebody DCs later in the game, you lose less, is what I imagine this is. Or it's vice versa. Either way, This is bad. It needs to be consistent. It should always be consistent. It's the best way to do it. It needs to be consistent. This being variable just means that it could be abused, in my opinion. I don't dislike having mitigation. That's fine. But this is abusable if it's scaling based off how long the game is, because that means that, like, somebody could DC later in the game and then you lose less. They're like, oh, we're losing. They got Orb Prime. I'm going to DC. Well, now we don't lose that much, right? Especially if you're in queue with other people and you just have somebody from your party DC and then, you lose less. This is very abusable. Hopefully they've addressed those and that is not the case, but we'll see. This could be abused though. Nitro. I don't care for Nitro, but I'm curious, so I'm going to read it. It remains one of our most popular game modes. That's because it's like the only game mode you can play when you're a new player. To deliver all the signature MOBA depth, but at a much quicker 20-minute game. Yeah, that's not how MOBAs work. They feel like games were not guaranteed to end in 20 minutes. They're delivering Last Stand. At 16 minutes, all towers and inhibitors take 1% max HP every second. Is it 1%? No, they just lose HP every second. Once it reaches 1 HP, it doesn't die anymore, and you get to auto-attack it, or a minion has to kill it, okay? The core will also go down to 50%. Consumables are viable at level 15, and they give you a massive stat boost. I assume X is 0. Just remove Nitro, man. What's up, Anthony? Suppose not more in Asia. There's tons of people in this region. I mean, who's to say? What's up, Adam? I did your tower blowing up for no reason. It just takes damage. This is just like casual game mode. They should just remove Nitro, though, in my opinion. Sorry for coughing. Party XP boost in 1.11. If you're duo queued or more, you get extra XP, which means you can level up. Okay. I wonder if this is just your account level. I mean, this at least lets you get to ranked faster. Does this do anything else? Is it also like affinity and stuff like that? I don't think so. I think it's just XP. I don't think you get any extra amber either. So I don't think this actually matters at all, unless you're trying to play ranked. Maco is in these patch notes, yes. New skins, Greystone, Kalari, Countess. These are all overprime skins. Just figured I'd put that out there. Maco, also an overprime skin. Overprime character. Makes sense. Bundles for each one, and then the Infernix is obviously the full bundle. It actually looks like the only way to get the Countess skin is by buying the bundle, which is kind of scummy, but I mean, you do you, Omida. Actual gameplay changes! Woo! Fangtooth. Lacking a little bit of threat early game. Okay, you know how you fix this? Stop letting people heal off Hunt. That's how you fix this. Fang Mao, very annoying to solo Fangtooth on early game. Why? Because he gets his shit pushed in. Because he doesn't heal enough off Hunt. Just make it so other junglers stop healing off Hunt so much. And you would solve this issue. Instead, they're increasing the damage, which that makes certain heroes literally not able to do this. And the characters that can solo it anyways early game, like Boris, Chimera, etc., don't actually care about this at all. Or like Kalari, like they don't care about this at all. Just make it so you stop. Hunt is in a flat heal. It's based off the damage that you deal. So it's like Omnivamp, and then if you're below a certain threshold, I think it's like 40%, you heal extra. Like you get an increased amount of healing when you're below a certain amount. That's why like late game, like you'll go like, I don't know, Feng Mao dash to a camp, and you get like fucking 90% HP back late game. That's why. Gameplay changes. One change for Fangtooth. I think this is just the wrong gameplay. I think there's a wrong balance for this. I think you just change Hunt. Okay, Acheron actual hero changes. Hunger, you get extra stacks for auto attacking from 1 to 2. Against heroes, you go from 2 to 3. This means you get your passive more often. further making the augment that stacks worse. This is actually a huge buff, a like massive buff. Oh, it's only to auto attacks actually. It is a buff, but it's kind of significant, but also kind of not. Specifically for jungle, I think. Oh, sorry, excuse me. Specifically for jungle, because it means you actually get your. I wonder if you can actually get your like full passive um, off red buff level 1 now. Because before it's like you queue it, you get 20 stacks, and then you're autoing for 1 stack, so you don't actually gain any stacks. I wonder if now you can actually get more stacks to actually get your passive more consistently. When is the patch live? This is on Tuesday. Hellfire, his Q, extra magical power scaling. I think magical power build's kind of weak, so it makes sense to buff that part. But the character is kind of broken, so like I also don't think you need to buff him at all. Right click, extra magical power scaling, extra armor shred, which means also extra armor steal if you have your passive charged. Basic ability cooldown refund on kill increased. Okay, so we're just buffing Acheron for some reason. We're just raw dog buffing Acheron. Okay. Extra damage on the ult when they're close range. Extra damage on the ult when they're far range because you get extra scaling. Oh, no, this is just the straight bite. Okay, never mind. So when they're melee range, you get a lot more extra damage. You get double scaling increase, double base damage or base damage increase. Execute bite healing modifier, so you get 3 times the amount of healing when somebody is melee range. Okay. Instead of just 1.5 times. Execute damage here now correctly heals Acheron based on the execute damage dealt. I didn't even know this was supposed to be a thing. Okay, so we just buffed Acheron for some reason. Okay. Acheron was already good. Probably ban worthy, honestly. Fix an issue where it consumes camera mode. We get stuck in a looping state if the ability is interrupted. How about we fix Rampage ult? There's a bug with Rampage ult. If you get Boris ulted while Rampage ulting, it locks your camera for like 4 seconds. That's kind of annoying. Happened to me yesterday. Almost cried. What's up, Atenra? Nice left titty, buddy. Thank you for the 15 bits. Bale, the alt augment, less alt reduction. The Swift Strike augment can stop working if Bale died while stunned. I don't even know which one this is because they have this written poorly. Mana increased on Bale 2. This is actually a good nerf. Bale having to build a mana item actually is like a good change. You don't really need to nerf him that much, but this is actually like kind of a significant nerf. Because it means you can't just like ape use it whenever you want. Boris, healing per canister decreased, okay. Cooldown increased on his 2, and then cooldown increased on his right click. He's already not that insane right now. He's good early game, but he falls off really hard. This just makes him unplayable, actually. He is probably the worst character in the game after this patch. Unless they nerf somebody else even harder. Picture sure where Crunch could gain excessive height when using her. Okay. I thought Crunch was a robot, first off. While falling. Right Crunch? I'm confused. What double jump are we talking about? Does Crunch have a double jump? What are we talking about here, man? What even is this bug fix? What are we talking about here? What even is this? This makes no sense, first off. What double jump are we talking about? What excess height? What are we talking about here? I'm so confused. Is this like the knock-up? Like when you use the knock-up, like the jump knock-up, you get less? They combine Crunch and Kalari? Oh. So this is a Kalari change? Gotcha. That makes sense. Okay, that's for Kalari? Okay. That makes more sense. Thank you, that makes more sense. Okay, Eden, the Axion Strike damage. I think this is the one where like it lowers your spin cooldown. You get more movement speed, more damage on the spin. Doesn't really matter. I think the Shred is probably the best augment. Less armor means she's squishier. Less heat generation when you level up the ult. Especially late game, which is pretty important. That's a pretty big nerf. Less scaling on the ranged one. Less critical strike scaling. A little bit of a nerf. Oh, no, this is the right click. Sorry, this is the dash. Less damage on the dash. Less damage on the melee dash. And the ult does less damage in ranged, but more scaling. No, sorry, the ult just does more damage in ranged. Okay. But you don't get it as often because you get less heat, so probably not that big of a change, honestly. Very small touch to Eden. I don't. She's kind of a hard character. If you nerf her too much, she's unplayable. If you buff her at all, she's OP. So she's probably going to be strong for a very long time until they realize that they need to stop making her meta. So very small changes. I don't expect her to change that much. But if she isn't playable, then she's like if she's not good, she's unplayable. So this could make her unplayable. It could also just continue to see her dominate. Gideon, less HP, and damage decrease on the Q. Okay, we're just nerfing Gideon, I guess. Fuck mids, man. Fuck mids. Less healing off of Grim Bubble augment and base health and power decrease. The power decrease is pretty significant. Bug fix. Grux grab would stop hitting targets when he's under the effect of size changing effects. Uh, Never had this occur. How about we make it actually what's called not hit you when you're outside the range? Double jump cooldown increase. This is good. Stop lowering it with levels, bro. Look at this shit. 3-second cooldowns. They were really like, let's give this character with a double jump a 3-second cooldown and thought that was a good idea. Make this shit stop going down with levels, bro. Holy shit, it's not that hard. Just make it like a 10-second cooldown flat, man. God. Fix your issue where she could gain excessive height when using her double jump while falling. Okay. Did they just like update patch notes like, while I was reading it? Her 2 extra scaling, sorry, scaling decreased. This is also like a double nerf, so like when you hit somebody that's marked, you get double damage. So this is actually like a 30% scaling decrease, which is like a massive nerf to the 2 damage, especially since you don't level it first. Chimera, ambush range, augment, decrease range, physical power, and jungle decreased. Physical power and the enemy jungle decreased. Obviously, they're going to decrease both. Less health increase per level, and physical armor decreased base. Healing per stack, nerfed like 20% late game. Doesn't really matter that much. It's like 25%. His Q, less cleave damage, less on-hit damage. 0.5-second longer cooldown. I don't even think he's that good. This is kind of like a super nerf. Like they're just like hard nerfing him for some reason. You probably level ambush now because getting like 1 second per level is pretty important. But it's also hard to say. His ultimate, less damage on the final hit. I hate that this hits 6 times anyways. Less scaling, less damage, and the slow duration is decreased. Yeah, kind of very hard hit for like no reason. I guess this is like a Timmy patch. They're just nerfing all the Timmy characters. I don't know. Augment, cooldown reduction for Kwong increase, self on the vamp increase. They nerfed this a while ago, so it's just like a revert. They increased the cooldown augment, or sorry, the cooldown on his passive. This is like a 20% buff. It's kind of a big buff. True damage increased on the right click, and the alt slow is increased. Honestly, I'm going to be honest. That honestly, they didn't need to change Kwong at all. This character was actually great right now. Nobody plays him, but he's really good. Did not need to get buffed at all. I'm going to be honest. This is going to result in Kwong now being really strong, especially with the other early game junglers being nerfed, because Kwong excels in the mid to late game. So stuff like Chimera and Boris being worse, as well as like Kalari and stuff like that, just makes Kwong better. When he's already good, and he will be really good. This is going to result in Kwong getting nerfed for the next 6 patches in a row, like they did last time they tried to buff Kwong for 0 reason. So lock in, because he's about to get nerfed 6 patches in a row. Guaranteed. 0 reason to buff this character. Bellica, please remove her from the game. Auto attack augment nerf, doesn't matter. Shit sucks anyways. Isolation bomb target damage decreased. Maybe you won't get one-shotted as much. I doubt it. Missing mana damage decreased by 5%. Aleka also stands firm as one of the stable mages with her general strength, making her more desirable relative to other mages, so we barely touched her. What are we doing here, man? What are we doing here? We're not even touching the character. What are we doing here, dude? What are we doing here? Why did we even type this out? Because we know we weren't even touching her, bro. Unplayable character now, apparently. Murkoch, I mean Murdoch, now scales his passive at levels instead of being stuck at 30%. This is actually kind of a big buff. Even though it's like a bug fix, like that's a big buff. Trap lifetime increased per rank. 60-second traps. I mean, this doesn't really matter that much. Very small buff, but it is a buff. Might make a difference, might not. They nerfed her magical scaling by 5%. It would have been better than that. I would prefer them to buff the missing mana and decrease the base damage on this 100%. It's just a better nerf. She will one-shot you at full mana. This is actually irrelevant. This literal change is irrelevant. You will get one shot. I promise you. She's going to one-shot you anyways. She might actually be the best mid in the game. It's between her and Howie, by far. Especially since Gideon got nerfed. Rampage. Unless they nerf like a lot of her items, I don't see how she's not OP as fuck. I'm going to be honest. Rampage definitely been kind of weaker this patch. Base power increased. That'll help us clear. Extra mana is nice. Also means you can maybe go the ground pound. Attack speed growth is good. Helps him a little bit. Slow on the rumble increased. This also increases the rumble augment. So like I'm not sure how good he'll be. Did need a small buff, but maybe it's enough to make him actually good. He's like the best jungler right now. No, he's not. He's good, but he's not like as good as the other junglers. Like you're never like I'm gonna pick Rampage over the other 5 junglers that are banned plus 3 that are gonna be perma-picked every game. You don't understand some of these numbers changes they do. I'm gonna be honest. I feel like this is like they were going on vacation, so they rolled the dice on what numbers to change for what characters. I'm gonna be honest. That's what it feels like. Unless there's like I said, it could be like an items thing where they change the items more than the characters, and like that's definitely viable, but we'll see. Armor growth on Sereth decreased, and cooldown on the Q increased by 1 second. 2 seconds late game, which is kind of a big nerf actually. But I don't think that really changes how good she is. Severog. Okay. Less regen, less base health, less armor. More armor growth, less armor, magical, more armor growth, more attack speed growth, more attack speed growth. Okay. I feel like this is kind of a nerf, but also like a buff late game, technically, by armors, but I don't know if that's enough. Extra souls per passive tier, or sorry, extra HP per passive tier. This is kind of significant, because it's actually a lot more than it looks like. Like, that's like an extra, like, 100 HP, if I'm not mistaken. That's what, 45, 15, 60, sorry, extra 70 HP. Not actually that much, now that I think about it. But, like, considering you get extra armors as well, like, maybe it's actually relevant. Cleave damage increase, which means you can clear jungle faster, means you can clear waves faster, that'll help. Siphon, health scaling increased by 0.5%. That's a pretty big buff. That's a 20% buff. That's actually pretty significant. His 2 extra base damage. Very big buffs to Sephirog. He's going to be a raid boss on this next patch. His dash does an extra 20 damage at all ranks, and it costs less mana, meaning you can use it more often. This character just got straight buffed. He got nerfed level 1 to 5. Any level after 5, he is just straight up buffed. Yeah, pretty massive buff to Sev, honestly. Late stays the same. No, that's just a straight buff. He's worse level 1 to 5. Because once you hit level 5, you get your armors back. At least you get your physical armors back. This is actually just a buff. This is pretty much almost a straight buff. Or I guess it is 25%. Song, please? I got you, bro. I think it's actually a new song. I've never heard it before. I don't think. Shimby, less HP, and longer cooldown on the dash. Good nerf. She needed to be nerfed. OP character. Nobody plays her, but she's OP as hell. Extra mitigation on the dash augment. Augment's pretty good. It's just not as good as the Axe Augment. Okay, they also buff the Axe Augment, so you're just never gonna build the Dash Augment. Why do we buff the Dash Augment, but then also buff the Augment that you're already building? What is the logic there? Fix an issue where the Q would not activate when achieving max stacks and activating it immediately. Huge buff, massive, thank you. That's what we've been waiting for. Actually, huge quality life fix. Yes, I can stop complaining about this now. Actually, one of the reasons I hate playing Terra, I like Terra, but I hate when I'm playing the character and I like root somebody, dash into them, auto 3 times, then on the third auto you activate the Q immediately. You don't get the third hit because for whatever reason it just didn't work. I don't know why they fixed it. Thank God. Holy fuck, that makes the character so much more playable and fun. Thank God. That was a very annoying bug. The amount of times I would drop kills because of that, and then it's like, because you didn't get the extra hit, you're just sitting on max stacks because all of your cooldowns are on cooldown because you were just like, I'm going to dash in. Holy. Dash Augment off is great. It's a good augment, but like the Axe Augment is just better. Yeah, Terra, huge buff there. Huge buff. Highland Hurl, root duration increase per level, slow duration increase per level, huge buff. Base damage on the right click, buff late game, just makes it more consistent. Max charge damage also increased. Yeah, honestly, she's already really good right now. She's definitely going to be strong. Could struggle to impact in the later stages of the match. What fucking game are you playing, brother? This character one-shots you. She fucking dashes on your dumbass. She ults, she presses Q, and you die, brother. What fucking characters are you playing into this, man? Who are you playing that you're like, this character sucks late game? What the fuck? Play an ADC or a mage into this shit, bro. See how fun the game is. What the fuck? Unpeelable character, by the way. CC in 12 seconds. Who is saying this character is bad late game? What the fuck? Sucks early game, maybe. Late game, what are we playing, dude? That character sucks late game. Are we playing the same game? Faye, mana growth increased per level. That's kind of significant, especially since she kind of has mana problems late game. Harvest Nettle, projectile speed increase means it's more consistent to hit. Also, lower cooldown means you're going to be using it more often. I don't know why we're making this change. Terrible change. We don't need to make this change. Very fun. We don't need to do this. I can't wait to play in a Faye meta. Yippee! I love playing against Faye when she's really good. Yippee! Magical power scaling increased on the right click. That's a huge buff, especially since this is also buffing the heal augment because the base damage on this is now going higher, which means you now heal more because the heal is a percent of the damage that the ability does. So this is actually just a huge buff. Massive buff, absolutely insane buff to this character for no reason. She's also actually good right now. She is pretty good. She just sucks in a Bellica. You can't play her in a Bellica, really. I mean, you can, but, like, it's a little weird, because if you get knocked up, you die. But if you also alter, she dies. So it's, like, it's actually not bad. Activation delay on fail decrease, so you're going to get pulled faster. Yeah, we're just buffing Faye for no reason. I said Bellica might be the best mage. It might be Faye now, honestly, especially since she directly counters Howitzer. It's probably going to be she just replaces Gideon, so now it's going to be a rock, paper, scissors. Are you playing the Faye into Howitzer, or are you playing the Howitzer into Bellica? That's basically where you're going to be playing now. And then Bellica and the Faye, like that's basically what it's going to be. Why didn't Argus receive any nerfs is my question. I don't think Argus is actually that OP. I'm pretty sure that card was pretty mid. I'm not going to lie. Kind of annoying, but just kind of mid. I don't think he's actually that good. I think he's bad into all the top mages. He's bad into Gideon. He's bad into Bellica. He's bad into Howitzer. He's like okay in the Bellica, but if you get knocked up, you die. It's the same thing as Faye. Like you could play the matchup, but if you get knocked up, you die. It doesn't fucking matter who you're playing. Annoying character though. Twin Blast, cooldown reduction on hitting people. So when you hit people with if TP dash is on cooldown and you hit people, you get cooldown reduction for the dash. That's getting buffed. Not sure why we're buffing TP is actually pretty good right now. Extra damage per bullet. This is also kind of like a double buff because when you crit, you do double damage. So, you know, it might say 2 damage here, but this is basically 4 damage when you crit. Slow increase on the grenades. Also the duration increase. We're just super buffing TP for some reason. Wait to see these Wraith buffs. They buffed Wraith. Physical power damage. Physical power growth increased. Oh. I can't wait to get one shot. Physical power scaling increase as well. So not only are we increasing his power, we're increasing his scaling. Very sick. Sicko mode, even, some might say. Damage on the grenade increased. Scaling on the grenade increased. Magical scaling increased as well. I guess. Scaling on the right click, magical, doesn't matter. Magical scaling doesn't matter that much because magical wraith kind of sucks. Mana refund decrease, that's a good change. Mana cost decrease though, so I guess the mana refund actually doesn't fucking matter because you're just lowering the cost anyways. So what the fuck's the point? OP character, buffing them for no reason. What's up, Brado? Nice to see you again. You're a quick bug fix for your ultimate that could break its functionality if you happen to use it while precisely on top of the lip edge of a wall. I wish it was on top of my lip edge of a wall, you know what I mean? Okay, that's all we're doing. Okay. Nerfed into the dirt, clearly. Ortis, they reverted the change to the passive. Okay, so if you haven't played the game in a while, or if you're new to the game, Ortis used to give you 3 power per stack, and it was super OP. And it was the best crest for like assassins. Even on some bruisers, it was really good for a very long time. This is a 50% increase to the effectiveness. Very good. Yeah, very good. Hasn't been that good since, but this is an insane buff. Especially considering they're buffing like TB. Fang Mao untouched, by the way. Fang Mao untouched, one of Fang Mao's best items. Yeah. Huge buff, like actually massive buff to Ortis. And like jungles and assassins in general. Pygmy Dust, minimized damage reduction, increased. More of a comp item, not very good. Silentium, also very similar item, does very similar things. I think Silentium is just a better item. I could reduce your damage, or I could stop you from using abilities for 2 seconds. I think I would rather stop you from using abilities while also dealing damage to you. Typically better than Pygmy Dust in most situations. Do you like Judgment not being as necessary? You don't like building Bruiser Crest on Assassins? Well, the one problem with Assassins is that the Assassin Crest kind of sucks. It takes longer to get, and the stats on it aren't as good. Getting like 3% Omnivamp is like really strong. That's like the main reason why Judgment is really good. Not even because the crest itself is that good, but like it's extra burst, and then you all like the stats on the crest are also good because you get HP, which makes you tankier, and then you also get Omnivamp, which indirectly makes you tankier because cooldown's not that hard to get. If they nerf cooldown on the assassin items, Assassin Crest becomes more mandatory because you will actually need the cooldown from the crest. So I don't actually think, like, I'm pretty sure Judgment's still going to be way better than Ortis, but like Ortis, if you get any kills on Ortis, you will snowball out of control. Cerulean Stone, extra 5 physical armor. I don't even know what item this is. I'm going to be honest. It's a tier 2. Who cares? They shouldn't even put tier 2 changes in here, honestly. I don't even know what fucking item that is. Equinox, shield damage, or shield increase. Item still kind of sucks since they removed the bonus damage on it. Might be good, might not be. Don't know if it's enough. 5 extra power for 50 gold. That's a great... Handshake right here, Ray. Handshake right here. That's a great job. I'll take that any day, bro. Give me that to some mage items, bro. Give me 5 power for 50 gold, brother. I'll shake your hand any day of the week. Deal. Absolutely, deal. Deal. I'll do that any day of the week. What is this? Why are we buffing this? Any day of the week, bro. Fucking deal, man. What is that? Insane buff. That's a huge buff. It's actually a massive buff. What's up, Astro? Good morning. Thank you for the 55-day watch streak. 55 fries, 55 burgers, 55 shakes. Plasma Blade. More physical power, less magical power. This is actually better. Because most characters that would build Plasma Blade, if at all, which is basically Skylar, are physical characters. So you benefit more from having physical power. This is a buff. Just a buff to the item. Mostly a buff to Skylar, only character that fucking builds it. Resolution, cost decreased, mana increased, so more effective, still kind of weak. The biggest problem with Resolution is that you go Chalice and then you go another item. When you have Chalice, you have a half item, and then you have another half item, and then your opponent has a full item, so you just lose the trade until you finish Chalice, which just takes too long. Item's actually not even bad, it's just not good in the current meta. If the game becomes a late game meta, this item becomes a lot more viable. It's just not, we're not in a late game meta. The game is decided in the first 15 minutes. The first 3 Fang 2s are when the game is decided. Unfortunately, Resolution comes on too late. Ruination, Spirit Drain, Spirit Mana. The bleed to your mana, whatever the fuck it is. Spirit Bleed Mana Drain! Why are we putting a bunch of fucking dumbass words in there, bro? The Mana Drain is increased, okay? That also means it does more damage, because it does damage based on the Mana Drain. Why did Sev get a super buff? He's been kind of weak for a while, to be honest, so I'm not that surprised. Cost decrease on Stormbreaker, huge buff. For 5 power, kind of sucks, but also, like, you don't really build Stormbreaker for the power. It just has good stats. Attack speed, power, like really good. Mainly the two reasons you build it. The only character that really builds it is Drongo, and that's just because it procs his rad rounds. Kind of a big buff, but also like doesn't really matter unless they buff other on-hit items, but it doesn't look like they touch Sky Splitter, so you're still only building it on Drongo. If that, and this actually might push it off of Drongo. Because you might need the 5 power, but I doubt it. I think you're still building it on Drongo just because cheaper is better, you know? It also means you get other items faster. So like 200 gold reduction, but you lose 5 power. That's roughly equivalent, I would say, because 350 gold is a short sword, and a short sword is 8 power, so roughly 5 power would make sense for 200 gold. Pretty much an equivalency. Item's going to be just the same. So you're probably still building it on Drongo. Alternator, it takes less stacks to evolve. Part of the problem with this item is it takes too long to evolve. I agree, especially on characters like Wraith and stuff. Most characters that build this probably don't need the cooldown anyways, though, because you're getting cooldown from other stuff. I don't think this actually matters. The item is fine. It's just not, like, great. It doesn't really matter that much, unfortunately. Deathstalker, cost decrease, item still sucks. Unless they make this item proc on abilities. So part of the problem why Deathstalker sucks is the shred. So it's a flat shred, like 2 per auto attack for 5 stacks, I think, or something, or 6 stacks. The reason this item sucks is because it doesn't proc on abilities. If you could have hit somebody with an ability, proc the shred, and then your auto attacks do more damage, that would be really good. The reason this item sucks is you have to auto attack to get the shred. That's why this item sucks. It will always suck unless they change that. If they change that, it would actually be really good. But it would probably be meta if they did that. Mana Scythe, you do less damage to minions. Item's still like mid. It's not OP, it's not bad. It's just okay now. Only characters I'd really ever build it on are like Sereth right now. I don't really think I'm building it on anybody else. Penumbra physical pen increased. Biggest problem with the Penumbra is the characters that want to build it don't need the cooldown reduction. Kalari, you get it from your augment. You don't need Penumbra. Feng Mao, your dash resets by default. Your 2 is a 2-second cooldown. It doesn't matter if you get it reset by Penumbra. Literally the only 2 characters that are really building this right now. You don't really benefit from it. Wukong is probably like the only character that kind of benefits from it, but Wukong, you're building other items. But that's like probably the only character that actually benefits from it directly. The other 2 just like you, they get cooldown reduction anyways. Crosos and Storm first 2 items, but to go nuts. Free 10 damage for 150 less gold and both cheap options. If it changes from on basic attack to dealing physical damage would be way better. Deathstalker? Oh, it would be meta. I guarantee you it would be meta. Flat pen is really strong. Like, flat pen is, like, arguably stronger than percent pen for assassins. Because when you're an assassin, you don't really want to hit tanks. You want to hit backliners. So, like, getting flat pen is really important. Or, like, an ADC early game. Like, if you build this early game as an ADC and it worked on abilities, like, if you were Drongo and you fucking right-click somebody and it reduced 10 prots, that's, like, an insane trade differential. But they won't do that because it'd be OP. I love reverting the pen nerfs from a few patches ago. Did they nerf Penumbra pen a few patches ago? I don't think they've touched Penumbra in a while. Trident, 4 extra pen, ability haste decreased. Item still kind of sucks. It still does 10 damage. Tainted Blade, just better. Believe it or not, 5% extra damage increase. Gonna be more than 10 flat true damage most of the time. Earthshaker, extra damage per stack. Less stacks to actually get it. Huge buff. Especially characters like Greystone. Tremor now is a 1-second delay after attacking before it generates stacks again. Kind of a big nerf. No longer jumps 10% higher than intended. That's kind of sad. That makes sense as to why you could jump up on a mid lane ledge now. So there's a while where so for the longest time you couldn't get from river to mid lane ledge with Gaia Greaves. And then for whatever reason in the last couple of patches you were able to. It was bugged. Makes sense. I kind of dislike it, though, actually. I kind of like the fact that you could jump up with Gaia Greaves. HP decreased, extra health when you finish it, so literally 0 change. Slightly worse when you initially build it, but you get it back once you get 75 stacks, which doesn't really take that long, so not really too much of a change, honestly. Carapace, Shell Smash cooldown. Is this the shield or the damage? I gotta go look, hold on. Discord, get your shit on my screen, bro. I'm trying to fucking click on the fucking items. I gotta see if this is the shield part or the damage part, because it changes how effective it is. Shell Smash is the damage part. Oh, it's both. It's damage and the shield. Okay. That's a pretty big nerf. I didn't realize it was both. I thought they were separate triggers for some reason. I thought the damage was like no cooldown, but the shield was something like that, or like vice versa, or like the one was individual per targets. Like I thought it was like the damage was individual per target, but the shield was like overall the same, regardless of who you hit. That's how I thought it was. That's why I thought they were different. My mistake. Cooldown on refund increase, mana increase doesn't matter as long as it's percent. It won't matter that much. It's good, but it's not like OP. They should just make this flat if they really want to make it meta. It might be meta just because it's like such a large amount, but I don't think it'll change that much. That's a balance change. What, this? Yeah, this is a good change. The Carapace change is good. Amulet is great on Bellica. Brother, you get 40 haste for free. Change your mind. You get 40 haste for free. Your abilities are 2-second cooldowns, man. What are you going to do? Get 1 second off your fucking ability? Just build fucking Time Warp. Fucking big brain time. Azure Core, 5 extra power, 50 extra mana. 50 extra mana is also, like, technically, what is it, 2 extra power? You're still never building it. Still a bad item. Claw of Hermes, shit item, nobody cares, nobody's building it. If you're building this, you're an ape, and your IQ is 67. Life Core, increase cost by 100, increase magic power by 5. Okay, so we just want a shit item to continue to be shit, instead of just letting it hit your own. Just let it hit yourself, bro. If you could hit yourself with this and heal yourself, it would be fucking great. Why are we doing this? The item is useless. Until it heals yourself, this item will always be ass. Stop. What are we doing here? Oathkeeper, mana increased. We're buffing Oathkeeper for some reason. Clearly, they haven't been watching the stream. Clearly, they don't know how to build.
The only losses are the ones that you don't.
I have
Soulbinder,
never
true damage
subscribed to
buffed.
anybody, and my streak was reset. I am being scammed. 20 months is a lot. Keep Vibin bot.
Yo, Pelu, thank you for the 20-month streak, man. I appreciate that, Prime. We'll go back to the bird nest, dude. Much love, brother. You probably got scammed by Amazon. Sometimes Amazon doesn't let you resub with Prime the day that it expires, and they fucked you. Message Jeff Bezos to get it back. He kind of fucked you. Thank you for the 20 months, though. I really appreciate it, dude. Welcome back to the bird nest. Soulbinder getting buffed. Maybe it'll be back to being better than Oathkeeper. Item is still really good, especially on like Howitzer and Gideon specifically. Not sure if it'll be better than Oathkeeper. Kind of just character dependent. In terms of whether or not you can get. It could also be game dependent too, like whether or not you are able to get the autos off of Oathkeeper or not, depending on like what the enemy team comp is. Sometimes it's easier or more difficult to get the auto attack off. So it just kind of depends. Soulbinder is probably better than Oathkeeper depending on the game. Now it's probably more game specific. Have to pay attention a little bit more. Ender's Blessing, cooldown or cost decrease doesn't matter. Xenos Guard activation radius increase. This is actually a good buff. Part of the reason why this item sucks is you have to be fucking humping your support, literally. You have to be giving your support back shots to get a shield. It's not actually a shield that you're getting. The reason the shield color is white is because you're actually getting glue timed. That's actually what's realistically happening there. Crystalline Cuirass, extra HP. I actually think this item's a little bit underrated. I don't think it's that good, but it's a little bit underrated. Like, I don't think it's better than other magical items. It's just like, it's never built, and I think there are like some situations where you can build it. Extra damage on Fire Blossom. This is actually a pretty big buff. And part of the reason why this is a buff is because Fire Blossom does extra damage. Like, it does extra damage based on the damage that it does when you're next to people. So, like, for every second you're next to somebody, it does X amount more damage. So, increasing the base damage also increases the amount that it scales. Pretty big buff, especially when it's an item that's already, like, pretty meta and has been meta since the game came out. Elefrost, 5 extra damage on the proc. Unfortunately, you're still never building it. The reason the item sucks, you can't build it first. Why? Because you have no tier 2 spike. Unlucky. If you're playing a character that wants Elefrost, you just build Fire Blossom. It kind of sucks, but it is what it is. It's just really tough to take that, like, L for the first, you know, for like an extra 1,500 gold to get an actual item online. But if you build it, it's pretty good once you get it. Inquisition, extra damage to monsters, whatever. Rebirth, cooldown reduction, item sucks, doesn't matter. Cause the match to stutter upon respawning when using Yin's bunny skin. I know people were very annoyed by that, so that's a good change. Could not purchase from on Sanctuary while in the base and standing near the edge of such jump pads. Huge fix. I'm so tired of my items not being bought. That's a good buff. Or a good fix, not a buff. course, health bar could incorrectly appear at the match start. Who cares? Tower hitboxes were larger than the tower's model. We already established that they fixed that. Fixing ensure we're blinking and using mobility effectively after result movement jitter for the user. How about we fix blinking getting rewound? Kind of have a lock-in button during rank draft. I've seen that a few times. Auto life feature would skip items such as Devotion, Oathkeeper when progressing through a build. Okay. Heroes could appear invisible when transitioning in the jungle near their dusk off lane, 2-1 fog wall. Bro, okay. So I knew I wasn't fucking tripping, dude. I knew I wasn't tripping that one day that Shinbi was fucking invisible, dude. What's better, Inquisition or Elefrost? Well, one's magical defense, one's physical. So I would say Inquisition's probably better because there's much better physical defense options. I was hard tripping? Clearly not. If there was, they're clearly bug fixing something. Feng Mao could teleport outside of the map near the mid lane. Shit, I might have to play some Feng Mao and test that. Or could enter a flying state when interacting with geysers under certain conditions. Okay, we didn't fix Aurora Wall though. Current queued game mode would appear incorrectly for party members if the party leader swaps it. Okay. Honestly, this patch is like a 3 out of 10. I'll say it. Patch is like a 3 out of 10. I feel like most of the patch is not that good. I don't really like most of this. A lot of this patch makes no sense to me. I give that patch like a 3 out of 10. But it's also like the holiday patch, so like, I don't know, take that at face value.